So you prefer to watch your podcast instead of listen to them? That's fine. I don't mind watching them myself, especially when you get to see me on the camera. Get to see Glids, Dill, Mick, Lincoln. 5 good-looking blokes. Before we get into today's episode, don't forget, hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the comment, chuck your trench coat on, and give some flowers. Cheers.
Hey, welcome back to Footy and Friends. This episode is brought to you by BWS. Do you need game day bevies, Brett?
Oh, I do, actually, yeah.
Well, BWS is here for it. Tequila. You're liking your tequila at the moment, aren't you?
Oh, I had one, but...
Tequila sodas.
Yeah.
1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, 4.
Yeah.
5 tequila, 6 tequila, 7 tequila.
More. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even.
That was good. That was good. I was going to say floor, but he said more. Anyway, moving on. Mick, how are you?
Yeah, good. Really good. Really good. Had a really low-key weekend. Kangas played Thursday night. So when you play Thursday night, it opens up your weekend just to be around.
Be present with the family.
Yeah.
Were you with the family?
I was.
The
Absolutely.
whole time?
He's a good dad.
Actually, Saturday I went out to Werribee, took Lonnie, watched them play the Giants. Obviously, Dill wasn't running because you did promise them you would run.
I was going to run for a little bit. Do you remember this? I don't know if you boys were.
Yeah, no, I remember this.
Were you just a
I was just
listener?
in the corner listening.
This was a couple of years ago, I reckon.
I rang you the day I was coaching Werribee, playing GWS.
Yeah.
And you'd committed to be my runner heading into the season.
And I also said I'd be GWS. And Mick goes, oh, I can't have you being my runner if you've said you might pass over tactics. I was like, what the fuck, mate? No, I'm not going to. Anyway, I didn't run
I
for
wasn't there
anyone.
when you first agreed, but last year, like you said, you'd still do it when you could, and you just didn't.
Yeah.
Over promise, under deliver. But anyway, out to Werribee, saw Jimmy in the van,
Yes.
travelling well.
I met someone up in Gold Coast on the weekend that played for Werribee.
Okay, we'll
So I
come
was
back
gonna
to
give him a
that.
shout out.
Michael Rockefeller? No.
Don't think so.
Ran the Gold Coast Marathon? No.
Yeah. Is he tall with blonde hair, bit of
No.
ponytail?
Short, black hair.
It's Tom DeConey.
Ponytailless.
Okay. Yeah, it might be Tom DeConey.
You're thinking of Tom DeConey.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Is he going to St Kilda? Because or is he going to the Gold Coast?
He might be going to Werribee. Who knows? That's why I said it.
Then Sunday, just some dad stuff and hung around. So
You know what?
Wholesome weekend.
I've just added another F to footy, to the FFFF. Footy,
I know where you're going with this.
friends, family,
And fires.
fatherhood, and fires. So,
Spat everywhere.
I've got fires.
Thanks to our friends at Dingley Wood Fires.
At
Dingley Woodshed.
redgum.com.au, Australian product. How was your fire on the weekend, Brett? Because I noticed you tagged Mick.
Yeah, not you.
So was there an invite out to anyone? Or
Mick
did
wasn't
you,
there, mate.
Oh, you didn't
Nah.
come out.
Did Shees pop round?
He just missed.
Richo get there for a bloody chuck a red gum on?
Just the in-laws. They
Nick
came
Daffy
over
make
last
his way
night.
down?
Yeah.
Wayne Campbell?
Daff wasn't there. Daff's in Geelong. So I
Yeah,
don't
what
reckon
about
he was-
Wayne? Was he down? Because he was down from Gold Coast.
No, Cambo didn't pop over.
Greg Tivendale didn't pop in, did he?
He lives in the area, Tiv, but play a bit of AFL Nines against Tiv.
What about Smarty? Smarty, your mate from basketball. Did he? Okay, move on.
Who's Smarty?
Smarty, Nick Smart? Is it Smarty?
I don't play with any Nick Smart.
What's the bloke's name that gave us the smoothies?
Guesty.
Guesty, sorry.
He will be so flat with that. He will be so flat with that.
That's shit house. Let's take that out.
No.
We do have an afternoon record this week where we might
do.
need some smoothies.
Yeah, we do. And also,
He's in Thailand.
how good was the fire? No, how good's a fire? Honestly.
Brilliant. Mate, that's my favourite place to settle in on a... I had a big night Friday night. I went out with the kinder dads.
Guesty?
No. Number of other boys. But Francois, nice little...
I've been there.
French
Do you have any
restaurant.
escargot?
The boys did. I didn't. No, I don't eat snails.
Yeah.
And then into the pub after that. But I was like, oh, maybe I won't drink. But then the fire got lit and look what happens. End up tipping a few more in.
As Bruce Springsteen would say, you can't start a fire without a spark.
Yeah, or a fire lighter. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. All right. It's been a big start.
Your weekend?
Really good, mate. I was in Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So I flew up there
You're on
Friday.
the Gold Coast.
I was on the Gold
Just to beat the
Coast.
face, was it?
Yeah, just to bring my cold sore up there. And
2 tickets.
Mate, it's good. I'll tell you what, I do suggest going up to the Gold Coast just for a little 2-day. I'll tell you what, Joz wasn't happy with me, but I did go up because I was meant to do the half, hurt my calf, had a bath, and a laugh.
Wow.
But it was good. It's good fun.
Half marathon was on Saturday morning, wasn't it?
It was.
It's not as not
What would you run in a
marathon.
half? I actually wanted to ask you this. What do you reckon you would run a half marathon in?
I've done 85 minutes before. 85, which
That's
is about
impressive.
4 minutes.
So
Just
what's-
over 4 minute goes.
So what's that one? How long would that be? Hour?
Hour 25. 85 minutes, funnily enough, is an hour 25 minutes.
No, you're right. If that story checks out. Just quickly on that though, my brother-in-law did an hour 27.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, really
409 Ks.
Yep. He did it up there, did he? On the
Yeah.
weekend? Great stuff.
Fucking huge. Good effort.
Yep.
I reckon you could go quicker.
Mick, what do you reckon your 2K is if you had to like?
Yeah, if you did
sprint
2K
one out?
You
now.
went balls out.
6:20 or 6:30.
pretty
good.
Good.
I did a 625 once at the Giants. On grass.
On grass.
We used to do 3Ks.
Carbon plates.
No, 2.
You had wear your carbon
When I
plates.
got there. When I got there, it was 2. It got changed because,
I didn't do them. I was on the program away from
Yeah, he was on the
group.
ropes.
he wasn't on the
was
ropes.
on the ropes.
He wasn't on the ropes. I'll tell you what, the one thing you didn't want to do was do ropes next to Brett. It was just, yeah.
Me and
never
Tones
felt
went
good about
head a few
yourself.
times.
How are ropes going to help you be a better footy player, Brett?
Look good, feel good, play good.
Boys, before we get to the footy as well, how was your weekend? Now, something's come across my desk.
It's not that me and Mick are wearing the same colour
So
jumper. It's not that,
Hawthorn on the
no.
that's fucking weird, by the way, that you're wearing the same jumper. But on the weekend, I heard Mabior Chol. Did we check his stats? How did he go on the weekend?
Kick 2.
Kick 2. Jeez, he would have kicked 7,
Any more laid back Mabior Chol?
He'd be asleep.
He'd be asleep.
but he would have kicked 7 because it was known publicly, apparently, it's come out that he played with shoelaces hanging out his ass, and it was Mack. So Mack was out there on the weekend. He's genuinely up Mabior Chol's ass. I've never seen anything like it.
Mate, we're just friends,
He's
man.
put on one of the biggest tags, and they've
Mate,
gone
that's-
out on the weekend and had a party together.
That's
So you're
just
mates
not
with
how it
Mabior.
went. We played Fortnite with him during the week, and we've just been talking to him in a little Instagram group chat. And then after the game, he just said, "Where are the boys?" And we said, "We're at the Aussie." And he said, "This isn't gonna get him in trouble. I hope he's allowed to go out.
I'm sure he is.
It's 100th game. He's allowed to."
The
So-
Aussie in Shepparton.
Nah, no, didn't quite
Definitely
get
not
the
there.
Shep.
SBC.
Nah, the Osborne.
Osborne,
And then
right.
yeah, he was in there, and
Oh.
we dapped up, and yeah,
Oh, you dapped
So who
it.
else was in there? So you.
Did you line up at the Osborne or did you get straight in?
we got there. There was no line when we got there.
Got there
but
early.
They got there at 6 p.m. just to make sure they got you.
had dinner. No, we didn't. Connor McDonald was there, another Hawks boy,
Yeah.
and then just me, Jude. Link was there.
Link was there.
Yeah,
Link gets a bit weird around AFL players. Did he do anything weird?
he
on the
wasn't. To be
weekend?
honest, like I was.
Stay cool.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think how to not.
Bag him.
No, I just wasn't like when the footy boys were there. I wasn't really with Link that much, was
Yeah,
I?
because you're up Mabior Chol's ass, so it's hard to see him when you're there.
No, Link
Feel around for
Link
him
outside
with
his
your
mates
shoes.
there. And we had
Mac
to
was
talk.
like being security for the boys, being
We had
like,
to
hey,
talk
it's his 100,
Fortnite.
just leave him be.
Yeah.
Serious, the aura that Chol has when he walks through a place like that, though.
Yeah.
Like when you talk to him, you can just see
What, duck-like,
everybody
was
looking
it?
at him.
Yeah. What about
He's 6'6".
Mac?
Yeah, and he's
Link, can you tell me about Mac? Apparently, you spotted him on the dance floor, just like hugging a girl, like on the dance floor. Just like
No,
that was slow
that's not true.
dancing.
That's not true.
Slow
That is
dancing.
so untrue. That's not true.
I'm not going to incriminate him too much, but one of my mates was like, why is Mac just like swaying back
dancing.
and forth with his head? He's looking at the ceiling. I don't know what he's looking at, but
Was it like a ball or something there where you're like deb dancing or slow dancing?
the ORTC red shirt stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
but
he would've looked good,
He
though.
did look good.
He would have looked great.
So yeah, me and Mac hang out on the weekends now, so we're great mates.
That's
That is
awesome.
terrific.
Okay.
The slow dance.
That's just not
So
true.
the slow dance, just at the club, bringing it back. How good's that?
Yeah.
1-2 step.
I'm buying into
Bit
this.
of Sierra. Let me see
What was
your
your
1-2 step.
kit down below? What did you have? Did you have your dancing shoes on?
You would
or-
have his big baggy jeans on.
The
for
baggy
I
sure.
had baggy
jeans.
jeans on. I had
and your runners?
no runners because Osborne they're pretty strict with their dress code in there.
Yeah,
I
so-
didn't want to wear anything that would get me kicked out, even if I thought it looked good. So had some nice sambas on.
Yeah.
I had sambas.
Yeah.
Wasn't slow dancing with a chick.
Jesus.
Just needed to highlight that.
Sure you weren't, man. Sure you weren't.
Oh,
And
wow.
I don't live in McLeod. Anyway. Tips.
8
Round
from 9,
17.
Brett. 7 from 9, Mick. I'll take that. Dylan. 9 from 9.
Well done, mate.
We've got a kudos.
Thank you, mate.
Flowers.
Thank you.
Clokey. Give up footy, mate.
Yeah, Clokey, 4 from 9.
Yeah.
He sucked a few in there with.
Clokey was saying he doesn't watch any footy. He actually works for Essendon. That's concerning for them.
But
Maybe he
but
should start
also-
watching some footy.
He also lives in Kangaroo Ground and drives 2 hours a day.
Yeah. He's time
To
poor.
and
there's
from.
plenty of time to listen to a podcast.
That's not going to help you watch footy, though, is it?
Yeah. All those animals to feed out in the property.
Donkeys.
Yeah.
So
It's a good game,
you're
mate.
you're +4 at the moment, which is going to be hard to rein in over the next.
If you hit the 100, hey, you know what they say? First team to 100 usually wins.
Since it's a 3-person footy Timmy comp, he could be very unfair and just tip the same as you.
He could.
Every
I'm not
week
going to
for
do
the
that
rest of the
though.
year.
I want to win with dignity, so I'm not going to do
good.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proud of you, mate.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. All right, let's get into the footy, eh?
Thursday night.
Thursday night feels like a bloody lifetime
It
ago.
was.
God. Hey, not bad. I was going to say flowers, but I was going to say not
Just
flowers.
while we're on the flowers, so who gives flowers a lot on his segments? David King.
I love
On
David
Fox
King.
Footy and SEN.
Must be an avid listener.
Oh, no, I just... He's a...
I reckon David King's
He's a
one
big
of
flowers
the
guy.
great minds in football.
Let's call him.
He
I don't know if he's
he
done
does
that.
do a power of work, Kingy.
He's really very smart.
I think
when it
Kick
comes to
Forward said
footy.
it. And once they said it, I cannot stop noticing it, that he takes his laptop and whatever desk he's on, they'll all have their papers and
Yeah,
he
and
always
he's got
has
a
his
laptop.
laptop on the desk.
Yeah, the
Hey,
big
look
Dell,
at the
environment.
We
big
should get-
thick one.
The run sheets are pretty good, though, actually.
I love Kingy. No, I reckon he's ripper. I was actually listening in this morning and he was talking about something about like, it was something so intricate. I was like, Jesus, you watch a lot of footy.
It's his
I
job.
was going to ask you about it. It was about
Why don't we call SEN and try to get on air while we're on air?
we should do that. We should. We were talking. He was talking about. Sorry.
That's serious areas for footy
Shut
and friends.
down. Brett would shut down. We'd just leave him go.
Yeah.
So, David,
How are you? You well? You well, David? You like better with bevies? Anyway, hey, Dennis,
Kane, you there?
Dennis Pagan fired the boys up on the weekend.
I didn't hear it because I was when it was mic'd up for Channel 7 purposes. I
Yes,
think, wasn't
yes,
it?
yes.
I couldn't hear, and
Yeah.
actually haven't gone back and listened.
You
But
should. Pretty
kind of
good.
needed Dennis to get moving.
Yeah, it was dragging on, was he, a bit?
Lads need to do their strides.
Yeah, we need to get our fundamentals going, boys.
And then, funnily enough, Doggies, 2 goals, 0-12, Kangas 0-0-0 after a minute.
Hadn't touched the footy.
Had you, Dennis?
Yeah, okay, Dennis.
But then after that got going.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
They did.
you got going,
did.
mate.
Sorry, we did.
Off the
Have
back
I
of
ever
Big
told
Sylph.
you that Dennis and I have actually had a shower together?
You have. You have told us that.
We have had a shower together.
Who was in first?
I was in first, but it was a good time.
Great.
Nothing nothing stupid about
No,
it. We have
just-
had a shower together.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Nothing wrong with it.
To give you context, Dennis coached you at Northern Knights.
Yes, so we showered. It's good. It's actually what
That's
you
what
should
you
be
do
doing
after
after
tra-
shower.
after
You should be
training.
doing
Well,
that.
and funnily enough, some of the
We don't-
generation nowadays don't shower.
Yeah.
Post game, post
Yeah.
They don't. Straight out.
Mate, I was shocked. I noticed that at my footy club at Surrey. Some of them after the game will like just
Short,
chuck on
straight
their
on.
trackies and like.
Do they go and just sit out in the outer,
don't
just in
know.
their
It's-
stuff, or
It's bizarre. And like another club I know,
It's so uncomfortable.
they like will wear like their socks and their shorts and just chuck some runners on and then like their like warm up top or something after the game. It's disgusting.
It is.
Yeah.
my old
Do you
man
know-
just be like,
Bring back,
no, not
make
back in the
showers
car.
great
with that,
again.
mate.
Make showers great again.
Maybe
Make
you and
cold
Dennis-
sores cool again.
You and Dennis can go on a campaign.
I'd like that. I would like that. I'm gonna write that down.
Mick, what's the go with wearing shorts and t-shirt in the pre-game interview when it's like
So what happened there?
40
11
degrees?
What happened there was I had a jumper on,
Yep.
but I had a salad sandwich before, and the tomato dripped on the light blue of the jumper of the kangaroo.
And you knew you were
Tomato
going on
sauce.
air, so
going on air.
Yeah.
couldn't look like a grub.
Yeah, so it didn't want to
Yeah,
look like
that's
a
fair.
grub. Had the fresh dew obviously up top.
Yes.
Which I got some feedback on.
Did you? What was it?
It's no good.
Who gave you that?
Mr. Patch, everyone.
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams was giving me feedback.
They just left a little bit on top.
left a little bit.
You probably could just zip it all off, I reckon. You're nearly at that.
It's a soft launch.
You're nearly at that, yeah. It is
No,
a-
you look good,
He's
mate.
got
You
another
look good.
year at
You
least.
look good, mate. You look. Don't worry. Don't listen to him. You look good.
Thanks, mate.
Anyway, last week's BWS stat was the Bulldogs have decimated North Melbourne offensively, scoring an average of 121 points per match since 2021.
Clark, I didn't read that one.
Didn't
I took
read
it
it
to him.
again.
Mate, how good was Silv in the first quarter?
He was electric.
Hey,
4 goals
mate,
and had that one on the siren.
And should have kicked it himself.
Yeah.
But hurt his knee. Is he going to be all right?
Well, we've had the weekend off, so
Yeah. He's had a scan.
Yeah, not sure. Genuinely not sure because we go back in today. It's Monday.
I'm sure he's icing it.
Rest Rosser.
Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
Yeah, but he played the game out. Had some good looks beyond there. Was a good contributor the whole game. But to your point, I think you were going to say in the game for a long time, 15 points down. I reckon 5 minutes to go in the third.
Yep.
And then just let a couple go late in red time, third quarter, and then chase the game a bit in the last, and it blows out. Don't feel like 49 points was a true reflection, but they did get a hold of us in the last quarter.
I spoke to Bull and same thing. He's like, I can't believe it was 50 points or 49 points in the end. Like it did sort of just blow out late and a few easy goals. But you could see on the night I was there, ABC with Murph. We both shared the duties, which was fun.
How was he?
He was great.
50-50 split between you and Murph.
60-40 his way. His confidence is growing.
You're proud of him.
Good. Proud of him. He's in form.
Yes.
You're just letting him.
But you could see the systems and things that you were starting to work on, and you like typically in the first half you were able to put a heap of pressure on the Dogs, which wasn't allowing them to get their handball chain up and going, which was
and I do feel
pleasing.
We joke 121 points. The Dogs are scoring. They score 134 on the weekend, and I don't feel like there's a lot of it. Well, I would say most of it was us actually giving it back to them.
Yeah.
So things that we can
Yeah,
control.
some silly errors.
Rather, the Dogs have their moments with who they've got: Darcy, Norton, the strong midfield. Watching the Dogs up close is as an impressive side to watch in terms of combative, contested, ball security, tackling, fighting tackles, as you'll see. So they're the benchmark in that space. And then
You reckon they're a chance? Going late?
Yeah, I've always been a big...
You like the Dogs?
Yeah, I've always been big on the Dogs. I do tend to buy into a lot of the media commentary around the Dogs at the moment is their back half, and they're a little bit susceptible back there. But in terms of midfield and front half stuff, they've got Norton, Darcy, and then just a litter of little smtle forwards that play their role, run hard and compete. Yes,
I thought Will Dawson was pretty
Was
handy
good, wasn't
on Sam Darcy. He got a couple against him later, but I reckon he only maybe had
a
one.
3/4 time or just before 3/4 time he hadn't kicked one.
Yeah.
Darcy.
Yeah.
And then he ends up with 4. Tristan Sherry goes out of the game kind of halfway through
You
the
have
last
to go into
quarter.
the ruck.
So Will went into the ruck and did some stuff
But
there.
is that like the blueprint now for what you need against a Will Darcy in terms of got to be 204 centimetres and aggressive to play on?
Love fishing and shooting and...
Yeah, hunting a deer.
Yeah, all that stuff.
That's the prerequisite. Did you hunt a deer? No, I didn't.
No, I
Right,
didn't.
You're right.
Yeah, we're off.
Get off.
Go and hunt a deer.
Go back
Bring
to
back a carcass.
Bring back a carcass. Get a wood chopper and get the bloke from Essendon. What's his name?
Clarkey.
Clarkey, get
What do
him.
you want?
But he's not tall enough to play on Sam Darcy.
So you need 200... it's a very niche list you need to play on Sam Darcy. 200 plus.
And hunts.
Anyway,
Back
move
on
on.
hunting.
Move on.
I've got 4 points I need to make. One is Norton.
Before we can
One
move
is Norton. Why doesn't he go back?
because he just kicked 4.
I know, but I'm saying if they're
5.
susceptible down there, why doesn't he go back? Think
Well,
about it. Take
'cause
that to
he's-
Bevo. I know, but Darcy's down there.
Okay, you just
Yeah.
rattle through your points, then we'll come
Okay.
back to...
Liberatore, congratulations.
Yep, Flowers.
Career best game as well.
Yep.
Impressive. Number 4, I saw Luke Darcy in Gold Coast on the weekend.
I think you
just
skipped
thought-
3.
No, I did, but I want to come back to that. I came back. I saw Luke Darcy on the weekend. We had a good chat.
That's it.
That's it. Back to 3. This is a serious question I actually have, and I realise I'm derailing the show a bit. But you know,
It's not like you.
back in the day, they had those ice machines at footy clubs. You take them home, fill it up, and put them on. Do they still have them? And do they have a modern version of them?
The modern
now?
version is now a game-ready machine.
That's what they are, the game readies. But do they?
I think you're thinking of the old put the ice in the patch, Velcro it to your knee.
No. Game ready's the red machine that
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Do they still have them?
No, they haven't got an updated version.
that's
They haven't
pretty
got
much
up. I want to get one. That's what I was just thinking about.
That is seriously just off topic.
Sorry.
That's
That's
3
fair.
minutes. So Libba, Flowers, Norton, backline, question mark. Luke Darcy, handshake.
So
I know he
Aaron
kicked
Norton. I know
five.
Sam Darcy's just come back. You've come back into form. You're clunking them. It was a big
Mate, I'm
game
just
from
thinking
you.
outside the
But
box.
hey, go to the back line. Maybe that you could be better. You idiot.
Can we cut that out?
No, you cannot.
Moving on,
you'd
Carlton,
love to do-
Collingwood.
Yeah, talk about your old club here, mate.
Moving
How well
on.
are they
Gee
going?
whiz. Not well, Brett. Not well at all.
They're playing top.
Collingwood are very good.
Collingwood are very good.
Do you know what, though?
Yeah, I know, but what did Michael Voss come out and say straight after the game?
Disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing. We let our side, we let our members down, we let everyone down. So how, when your backs are up against the wall and you come out and then you do that?
Do you know what's really interesting is I did a podcast actually with Sam and Mitch from Tradies, which was out on Monday. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about Carlton, and for ages I've been using the excuse like, the bottom six and the list, is it that good of what they've done? But then you look at Collingwood, and actually Sam made this point, and I actually think he's correct. Collingwood's list, and Fergberg, please just relax for a second. Just fucking chill out. I'm saying how good Collingwood are, mate. But I'm saying there is some players there that if you go like for like, they've got some absolute superstars that are playing well. But then there's some other just really good role players that make them great.
Like
Billy Frampton, he's so important to them, but he's not going to get you 30 possessions. He just plays an awesome role.
allows Darcy
What
Moore to
also-
play.
Lockie Sullivan, all these guys that
Yeah.
we,
and Fergberg, where are you? Again,
we love Collingwood,
not
mate.
discrediting the capabilities of these players.
It's actually a compliment, how well they've done. Carlton have similar players, but they're just, it's not working. It's not working.
Collingwood
What do you
ones,
do with that?
I think sometimes when your bottom 6 to 8 are of mature body and have been around for a while, like again, Fergberg.
But even Oleg Markov played on the weekend.
Oleg Markov, Hoskin Elliott, who's played 200 and something games, but
Elliot's not in their bottom six.
well, he's a role
Really?
player. He's a role
player now.
Role player contributor who's been out there, experienced, very experienced, played a multitude of roles, knows how to get it done in scenarios, all of that stuff. Then they've got the boys that have come in from. Kudos to the Flowers, to the recruiting team, like the Lockie Sullivan, VFL Lockie, who's now AFL.
He had 20 and a goal, didn't
Ned
he?
Long, who was VFL Ned.
Beautiful goal he kicked too.
Ned Long was VFL Ned.
That's what I'm saying. VFL Ned.
And people are talking about VFL Ned being kind of a real mover and shaker for the Collingwood mids now.
I reckon he's a real mover and shaker.
Did you see on Lockie Sullivan's goal, Scott Pendlebury was the one blocking at the stoppage?
Yeah,
so
that
it's
was
a
really
400
cool.
gamer blocking for a sub 50 gamer.
I'll tell you what, it was.
That's
a
what they
really
do.
good
That's
goal.
what they do at bloody.
Do they show that
That's what I'm
on
saying.
on Monday?
I imagine they would.
Yeah.
Can we just go to look at Collingwood's team? So Ned Long, 7 tackles, good stuff.
You
Long,
can't write that down.
No, I'm not. I'm just writing the names
Doing
down.
noise from Fitzroy.
Who would be you got Membry, who Saints got rid of.
A depth player with great experience
Yeah.
and leadership and has been there and done it, physical maturity.
So you're saying Hoskin Elliott's a role player?
But Roan Steele comes in as 19. Was that
Markov?
debut? Yeah, well done, lad.
Mid-season.
I've never even heard of that bloke. What was his name?
Roan Steele.
Roan.
How do you spell it, you reckon?
R-O-N-E?
Yep, that's it.
Roan. Or Rome.
Roan.
I think it's Rowan, isn't it?
Roan.
R-O-A-N?
So you can't tell me. Should we have done this beforehand?
Yeah, this is more prep stuff, I'd say, what you're doing right now.
Do you know you're picking up what I'm putting down? Good on you. Good on you, Collingwood. I reckon what I'm saying is
Collingwood good, Carlton bad.
basically, and I'm saying to McRae and the coaches there, they've obviously got them really fired up and playing very good team football. Because I don't think the lists are that different.
Oh, they've got some generational. I'm looking at N Dacos, J Dacos.
No, I know.
As kind of generational.
I'm saying the bottom of the list. Sorry, the bottom of the.
The lists aren't that different.
I'm saying the bottom of the list, like the bottom 10, I reckon are pretty similar to Carlton's bottom 10.
that's.
I think
way
you're
off the mark there.
Yep.
We've just made the point that the bottom 6 to 10 for Collingwood are now they're players that have been there, done
That's
it.
what I'm saying. I'm saying they're not talent-wise. They could be doing Carlton's bottom 10 could be doing that. These guys are from the VFL. Is what I'm saying, and they've come in and playing
No,
roles.
not really. Hoskin Elliott, Membry,
Long,
and Sullivan,
Yeah.
Rowan.
Roan. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but anyway, what's happening with your brother? Is he coming back?
I don't know, but I forgot to put petrol in his car over the weekend, and he's not very happy with me. So that's the
I'm
latest with
fucking
that.
nervous about this if Ferberg's going to hear this. What I'm saying is, Ferberg, you're doing well. I'm actually on the pod.
The
so
10
good on you.
points are out in front. They're the only team at the moment. Brisbane got a little bit of a Brisbane only 2 points ahead of So the ladder at the moment, it's like
2
Collingwood
points.
56, Brisbane at 46.
Yep.
And then there's a
Adelaide 44.
swag of
Cats
teams 44 down to
Hawthorn
40.
44. Dags.
So the Pies
Borises-
actually solidified top 2, whereas everyone else from 9 up to 2 can finish top 4.
Yep.
So well done, Fergberg.
Roan is Roan, by the way.
We
We
did
knew
say
that.
We
Yeah,
knew
that's
that.
why
We
we're
knew
asking
that.
you to
Got
spell
you.
it.
And I think it's Rowan.
Got you.
Rowan.
Rowan. Don't mess with the Rowan. All right. West Coast versus Giants at Optus. I didn't actually really catch this game.
Didn't know this one was on, to be fair.
Yeah, I was watching. If you wanted to hide a game, I'll tell you what, do that.
See Toby getting into Harley.
I did see that.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
Toby
cool.
wasn't happy with Harley. And Callahan had a really good game.
Tom Green was in the Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that all about? Mac?
It looked like he tackled Harley, held on a bit too long, and then Harley sort of got into him.
I think someone threw a swinging arm.
I reckon
But
next year Harley's
Toby's
going
was
to
a bit
really have
like-
a ripping season. He's going to have a big preseason next year.
Harley? Yeah.
He'll flick it next year. I think he's a bit frustrated this year. You can see it.
He's actually had a pretty good little period of
But
matches.
you can
been
sort of
better.
see he's not at his best. What we saw last year.
It's pretty normal, isn't it? What do they call it?
Second year player.
Second year
Yeah.
Blues.
Second year player that's played nearly every position on the ground, I reckon, across his 2 years. So I think big pre-season, play midfield forward. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
Big breakout.
Yeah, let's
You're the
sort of
host
move
here,
on
so-
from that, I reckon.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much more that happened in that game, but good on your Giants, getting back to their best. And good to see Matty Flynn in the best.
Oh, yeah.
Second,
Big Gerald.
which we love.
Played for both teams still.
He did, and we missed that I don't know how I missed that last week. Apologies. Essendon versus Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium. Essendon defeated by the Gold Coast.
This was nearly the morning slot.
Hey, in front of 29,000 at Marvel, that's not a bad crowd.
That is a
for
decent
game.
crowd
Yeah.
for Essendon playing an interstate side.
Matt Rao's ratio was hectic. He had 17 tackles and 15 disposals. More tackles than disposals.
Second of the footy, you reckon?
Yeah. I reckon he was waiting for people to pick it up and just tackle him. Like,
What's his name? We're not at the game. The game is next. Tom Atkins had 13 tackles at half time.
we had 9 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Matt Rowell had 14 at half time.
Oh, right. Gee, where's he
Went to sleep.
must have
Did you see
listened to
Sarah Jones interview him or hear that on the radio
No.
this morning? He
It's very
said,
short
"Oh,
with
so
that
a fair
one."
bit's been made of." Or Sarah Jones says to Matt Rowell, "A fair bit's been made of you and your umpire contact. You had a few close calls. You're going to change it up?" Or he said, "No, I'm just going to keep going the way I am."
Yeah.
So it's basically just a.
Has Dimmer spoken to you? No. Just going
I
to keep
love
doing me.
Matt Rao. I love him. Love him. Essendon, caddy 3.
Essendon were in this game for a long time.
Yeah, they were.
Well, what was that? Up by a goal pretty much on the death knock at three-quarter time. And I think this is what we're seeing a little bit with these sides that are kind of in the bottom 10 at the moment is, and I'm at one at the moment, that sustaining that intensity and effort for 4 quarters is the challenge. Particularly like Essendon at the moment, a lot of injuries, heavily reliant on their best players. So if you look at their best, Durham, Merritt, they were outstanding in the middle, but like
Sammy Durham, I was really enjoyed
across
watching him play.
across the game, you need the weight of numbers of contributors to make sure that you get a 4-quarter performance, which they just didn't have there for the Bombers on Saturday.
Our boy Caddy kicked 3, which is good for him.
Why does Essendon know, like, I feel like they get let off
They've
little
got,
bit at the
they've
moment.
got
I know
an
they're-
unprecedented injury list at the moment.
Yeah, so many soft issues which they're diving into.
Yeah.
Which is when you're talking about role players in the bottom half being not quite as good as Gold Coast and whatever.
Carlton and
So
Essendon's
we're
list are actually...
giving them a bit of
I actually
a leg
reckon
pass.
Carlton and Essendon's list
He
are
wants to
pretty
go
similar.
harder than
Yeah.
you. Where do
What
they
do you
belong?
think? What do you think?
Where do they belong?
The VFL. No, they don't. I do like Essendon, but I just think they should be going better than what they are. I know they've got injuries, but they've still got a lot of good play. Like, who's...
They've got a
injured
lot
that-
of kids, mate.
So they had Archer May, who's the mid-year.
He played well.
He came
Kicked
and kicked 3 goals. They had 4 picks in the mid-year draft, mid-season draft,
Blackiston out of the mid-year.
which means Dylan,
Yeah,
they've
that
got
they've
pretty much
ravaged.
4 or 5
They're
on the long-term injury list that they can't get back. Sammy Draper's out for the year.
Your guy Todd Goldstein still playing.
Todd Goldstein's still kind of getting
Saito
balls.
missed
That's
out.
Saito.
He
Did
played.
Saito get
He got
kicked in the
dropped.
ass? For,
Yeah.
for Todd?
Yeah.
I think actually the other brother, he hurt himself.
Vigo
Vigo hurt himself.
No, Dante.
has a missed opportunity.
Dante. Fuck. Anyway,
Sido and Vigo.
good to see you, boys.
They've had like 11 or 12 debutants this year. So, yeah, they're young and they've got a lot of injuries to key players, especially in that back half. So, yeah.
Are people starting to say Gold Coast just make the finals now?
They're only just in. They were sitting ninth prior to
Big
that.
game.
Fremantle out.
We're not going into
But
preview.
they've got to
territory.
play Essendon again.
They play Fergberg's Melbourne this weekend on Friday night.
Yeah.
Will Fergberg be going up, getting the 3?
I reckon he does.
I actually
the
almost think
3 pass
Fergberg's a
to
bit
the
of a
theme
like.
parks.
I reckon Fergberg he loves the Pies, but like I don't even reckon he's like a member or anything. Like you know what I mean? He's
He wouldn't go to the Gold
he
Coast.
wouldn't actually
Like, he'd
go
be a
up
fair
there.
weather fan, Fergberg.
Yeah, he's a fair weather.
He
fan.
wouldn't do a day in the life and send it in, would he?
No.
I've been asking him for 2 weeks.
Weak as piss.
Yeah, it's shit house.
Do you know who did a day in the life that I really enjoyed? Watched the whole thing.
Who?
Last night. Tom Morris did a day in the life of on Instagram.
It's interesting.
Go back,
I did
have
see
a
that
look.
actually. There was someone else talking over it.
Looking forward to Brett's day in the life.
So am I.
I was
we
supposed
got-
to do a day in life
we're-
the other day, and I started it, and then I forgot.
Thank you.
So
for that.
slow dancing on the dance floor.
That was great.
Yeah, no.
And here's me finishing the night slow dancing in my red shirt.
You didn't.
Slow dancer.
Nah, you didn't want one on
God.
Saturday. I was probably played the worst game of footy in my life.
Yeah.
My disposal to tackle ratio would have been higher than Matt Rowe's because it was like 2 disposals, 3 tackles.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky.
Are you pressing for selection there in the ones?
No, I'd be pressing for selection at 2s. I'm a good chance to be omitted.
Are you right, mate?
Sorry, mate. I was just getting up the next bit. Sorry, I was losing.
Are we moving on?
Yes, we're moving
Quick
on. Sorry, mate.
lull. I got yelled at by a Perth guy last week for not shouting at Jeremy McGovern. So Dom
yeah.
Sheed retired last week. So anyone
Oh,
want
of
to get
course.
around him?
Yeah, love Dom Sheed. He kicked the
2018
goal
GM.
against
Yep.
Collingwood.
Fergberg, do you remember that one?
Yeah, Fergberg probably remembers that.
From Kalgoorlie, I reckon, Dom Sheed. It's a shame that Nirico, he would have been really important for what this rebuild is at West Coast because they are looking for some experience
He's
in the middle.
only 31. I reckon.
Yeah, played
31.
a lot of footy.
Do you know what is exciting about West Coast, actually? If they get some trades in next year or good picks, which they will, number 4 is available, which is his number. So that's a good number.
So that's exciting.
Well, it is actually exciting for the footy club to get someone in that's going to take that.
It's a win for the Eagles.
It's a win.
Wow.
It's good for footy. Moving on. Now, this, I will say actually about
So
Dom
which
Sheed-
way are they going to go, though, just to double down on that? Are they going to go draft picks? Are they going to get talent in? What are they going to do there, mate, with the trades?
What do you think they're going to do, actually?
No, I asked you.
Well, they're going to have like the number 1 or 2 pick. So you'd probably give it to him.
You still think about the number 4.
That's it.
Disregard the number 4.
So in terms of your list build, hey, mate, that's all we need to worry about is you got number 4. That's it.
Yeah.
And hey, we're going to get better off the back of that.
I swear to fucking God.
Just make sure you
if
pick a
they
player.
let me pick a name here. Where's West Coast game?
Ruben Jinby.
If they, he's already number 7. So that's
Shanahan.
good. If they throw fucking Shanahan in the 4, I don't even know who that is, but I will flip my shit.
He's a Moama boy. Pioneers.
Yeah, but don't be giving the 4 to Shanahan,
Don't look at
Hutchison, Ryan, or B. Williams. Okay, do not do that.
B. Williams.
Hutchinson wouldn't be too bad because he's already wearing 44, so it's just taking one.
No, I like the 44, but just you need the 4 to come in. It's a change
How do
of
you think
guard.
Hutchinson looks in the 44?
I like him in the 44. I like the 44. 44 is a good number.
Do you think the selection panel will be like, oh, he's a good player, but
No, but I did
wouldn't
say
look
it's like
that
when
good
they.
for.
No, but it's like when Richmond gave this. Like I love Ryan Mansell, but it was a good opportunity to give it to one of the other guys.
Say
think
West
they'll come
Coast,
in?
they get like pick 2, really good ruckman in the draft, but
Oh,
he
fuck,
doesn't.
nah.
He doesn't really fit number 4. So
No,
just
I
move,
agree, mate.
move on,
Great
get a
question, and
midfielder
give it to the
instead.
next. Yeah, the next one. Give him the 20. McGovern's 20.
Geelong
Who's
v
Dean
Richmond,
Cox, Dean Cox.
GMHBA Stadium.
Yes.
He's talking
Now,
about getting bogged down in the
Listen to
weeds.
this. Listen to this, Brett.
Oh, Madeline, how you been? I've been waiting around a day.
You like it?
I saw all your friends.
I reckon I've listened to this 100 times.
And there's a picture of us holding up a picture of our favorite beer. I'm trying so down this year, can't hold it like we used to. And I ain't never felt lonely as I do tonight in this nice
That'll do.
hotel.
No, this is a good bit.
100 miles from that shit motel. Kiss me softly in.
It's Sam Lawler.
Madeline, how you
Oh, is this
been?
him?
Yeah.
Around the dyke.
It's not him singing.
No, it is. Did you not watch the video?
Yeah, it looks like it's way out of tune. Like it's out of sync.
That can't be him. Like, I can't picture Sam.
Hey, that's Sam Waller.
Watch his lips.
Mate, that's him singing.
Oh, mate.
Brett's dirty that he's...
Yeah, no, I put in
Brett,
the chat
why are you
and he
dirty?
was off it.
He's a good singer
just
and
busy. I
plays
was
guitar.
dirty.
That honestly, I've watched that. How many likes? It's had 40,000 likes. I reckon I've liked 30,000 of them.
I'd be a solid 10. I've watched it that many times. And now there's like all these edits. Like
Yeah,
the videos of
then
him
with
playing
his
footy and it's
highlights
just him in
over
the
it.
background.
That's him, Brett. He's
Okay.
singing and playing the guitar.
I would love to have it. Sammy Lawler, if you're watching, now you got some time on your hands, come over for a fire. We'll get the guitars out.
Oh,
Yes.
imagine!
I'll come.
And we'll have a little... No. It's too far from McLeod. But Sammy, you're always welcome.
Bring Doug.
No.
No, let's actually get him on and sing some songs.
That'd be elite.
So that was him. He's gone up in my books.
Done his hamstring.
Dramatic. No, I already loved him, but that's been huge. Anyway, I hope his hammy's okay.
Well, Brett Cleary here. I'm hearing to the left in the notes here. Brett Cleary, brother of Brett Delidio, likely done for the year,
Yeah, well,
which is a precautious take on like a hamstring because we're getting towards the back end here.
Yeah.
Like 8 games left, I think. So
not trying to insert myself here,
But
but
you can
I've
play
done
a role.
an 8-week hammy before.
Yeah.
And it really hurt. Really fucking hurt.
That one looked like it really hurt.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you've inserted yourself again.
I'm just experienced
Hey,
it.
Jez kicked his 700th.
You did. Congratulations.
You text him?
I didn't. No.
Just missed it.
Just missed.
Yeah.
I said kick 1,000. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's a bit of a ho-hum game, that one at the Battle of the Cats.
Yeah.
They were out. They were out early. The Cats. The Tigers were pretty good in the second half. Like pretty good. I think they only scored 1 goal to the break. So
Big Jerry could have had a day out, though, couldn't he?
they got moving.
4 goals, 5.
Cats down at GMHBA Stadium on a Saturday twilight this time of year. It's
Bailey Smith
I
laid
think if
out.
Richmond going to drive back down the highway with a 70-point loss, thinking, yeah, we kind of move
Yeah.
on from that one pretty quickly.
Yeah, we do. Shout out to @JimRay95. He actually D'd in about Tom Atkins' 9 tackles, so I just want to give him credit for that. Flowers to you, Jim Ray95.
On your gym.
Good to see Myers best on after the bloody
The
Geelong
jeers.
crew booing him last time at
No, they didn't
GMHBA.
boo him. They just jeered.
They jeered when he hit a target because he
Yeah.
would just have one of those nights which we've all had them.
Some more than most.
Yep.
I've
Just
had a
handing
few.
it back.
Yeah.
Handing it back to the players,
Yep.
not in the hoops.
Yes,
Grind.
yes.
Well, again, I had the issue sometimes in purple. I'd kick it to the team, not in purple.
I had it in navy and orange.
Magenta.
And red at the Preston Bullets.
Hey, shout out to the Preston Bullets.
Yeah.
They're off.
Agree.
They're off the duck, Brett. Will you catch up with this?
First in 400 days, their first
Brett,
win.
First win in 400 days.
Who'd they play
shout
again?
out.
Sydney.
You should go and do a sporty down there.
I would do that for a small
They made
fee.
it. They made a TikTok.
I would do that for a small
They
fee.
made a TikTok and they said like, "Oh, who's someone you'd love to come watch a game?" And there's like all these celebrities and like players. And someone said Dill Buckley
For Preston.
for the Bullets.
I'd
yeah.
love to get down there. Honestly, I should get down there
Yeah.
and get a membership. You know what? If you're listening, Preston,
They're Northern Bullets still, but Preston next year.
Northern Bullets, and if you're listening, I will
Come down for a small fee.
I'll come down for a small fee, but I will buy a membership.
Not far from McLeod.
It's not far. It's across
Same, yeah.
town, but it's not far.
And you could pick up some stuff from the markets.
I could get some stuff from
Across
the
the road.
markets. Yeah,
Preston
the
markets.
Preston market. Some good stuff
Take
there.
a little shovel or a broom, though, for the seats because there's a lot of pigeon shit on all those seats up there in the stands.
Yeah.
There is. No, you're right. There is. Can't deny that. Moving on.
Moving
Brisbane versus Port Adelaide at the Gabba.
Zach Bailey.
Zach Bailey, 5.
26 and 5.
26 and 5.
Yeah,
That's a big
huge.
day.
And we will get to 2 people who kick 5 this week as well. He and Rankin 5. Very impressive, isn't it? To kick 5, you're on.
Yeah. But to have with 26 as well is
Yeah.
like you've just taken the piss.
Yeah.
Your man, Mitch Georgiadis.
Yes.
has kicked the 4.
Yes, my boy.
Yeah. Anything?
Did he listen to you about what you said about Harris Andrews? And
He must have.
oh, you didn't see?
No, didn't.
Just missed that one.
Missed this
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Brett, do you remember the day you kicked 5?
I do, against Collingwood on a Friday night.
Oh. How was the
Nice,
weekend
Brad.
following that? You would've-
That night we ended up.
Any reason Nathan Foley got 3 Brownlow votes that night?
Don't bring that up. He'll
I don't
be
know.
happy with
No,
that.
he just
So how
went-
many disposals with the 5?
27 and 1. Brett had 15 and 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
I
need
know, I
to
played
get
full
stats
forward.
up. Need to get your stats up.
Oh, who had you that day? Presty.
Jimmy Clement, probably.
Maybe
Jimmy?
Wakeland.
No, I don't know.
I think it was Ryan Cook.
Ryan Cook went to you, Brett.
Was it Ryan Cook?
Couldn't go with
Nobody
your speed.
played.
There you go.
So this game, I watched a bit of this one.
Yeah,
Because I'm sensing you guys didn't. Port Adelaide, hey, shout out Sam Palpepper. I know. His knee, or likely knee, Ken kind of brought that in perspective in his post game. He said that's the last. It is starting to dawn on, I think, the footy world that Ken Hinkley won't be coaching them next year.
I love Ken Hinkley.
He said,
Love him.
That's the last game I'll coach Sam. So there are certain players coaches just love having in their stable.
Yep, and I agree.
And you'd
Power
imagine
Pepper's one of them.
One of them, yeah.
I'd say Power Pepper,
Mitch,
Zach Butters would have to be up there with his favourite.
yeah.
The horny one.
Yeah, he'd like anyone.
I also reckon he'd love Willem Drew.
Drew from
Yeah.
Drewy. Keep reeling him off here.
He'd like Miles Bergman.
Yeah,
What about Dante? You reckon you like Dante?
Well, I reckon Dante actually got injured on the weekend. He hurt himself a bit.
Tell you what, we steer away from. It is related to Port Adelaide in a sense because your podcast with Choco Williams, which I'm making my way through.
Thank you.
Have a listen to that. Anyone who's obviously listening to this, if you want to hear of the love and affection and investment coaches put into their players, and I think Choco's as good as you'll get in that space.
Yeah. I reckon
And I think Ken is
up there
sings
as
from
well.
Why have you drawn a 3? Is that
Because you drew a 3. look at the run sheets here, right? I was just watching.
Not
Only thing,
joking. I've got a 3 here as well.
the only thing Brett's put on his fucking page today is a 3. And look at mine. Look at the notes on that thing.
Look at my notes. Look at my notes.
Yours is crooked.
Yeah.
Wait,
couldn't
let me
join
see
it
your
up.
3 deal.
Well,
My 3's here.
Not as good as Brett's.
Sub to the Patreon and we'll give you a rundown on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, run sheets go on the Patreon. Hey, just on Ken, how funny was his little teeth gag? Did you see that? Yeah, the teeth in the camera. Did you not see it?
Looking away and then he goes,
And he's got like the
lolly teeth?
the lolly
big
teeth.
chops.
Is that during the game?
Yeah. We spoke about this as well with the tradies on Monday, but I reckon genuinely, if I was any club next year, I would be getting Ken to come on as like a senior assistant or head of coaching or something. Carlton, that would be my thing for them.
Yep.
Get him in to come and support Voss, and then next year get Jack Butters to Carlton. Cheers. Done.
Okay.
Do that.
Yep. It's not a bad shout.
Thanks.
Brisbane,
Sometimes I'm surprised when Brett says good job.
They've got their
When Brett says good job to me, it's like your dad says good job. You're like,
they've got their game going a bit.
What's
Brisbane.
that like?
They've got their game going.
Yeah, Brisbane are just-
They've got their game going.
Look, it's Brisbane, Collingwood.
Why is
Brisbane,
the
Collingwood
percentage
grand
so
final
poor?
for me again, I reckon.
Their percentage.
Yeah, why is it so poor?
They get smacked by someone. I think Collingwood smacked them up.
Yeah, 50
And they haven't. They've had a few close. They probably haven't smacked anyone up
Port
themselves.
got smashed by the Dogs.
Yeah. Last week's BWS stat on this one: Brisbane have won 7 of their past 8 games against Port Adelaide, including their last 5 of Gabba, so that continues.
They're a bit leaky on defence, that's why.
All right, moving on. St
Moving
Kilda
on.
versus Hawthorn. Caught a bit of this one. St Kilda just hung around. They hung around.
Nasai Wanganeen-Malira.
Yeah.
Wow. He is
What's he at?
seriously good.
You know,
43 and 1,000 metres gained.
Last quarter, though,
Yeah.
went in the middle. Is that a 3-vote game? It has to be. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
you'd think so.
43 and 3 behind. Kick straight.
I know. Imagine that if you had 43, 1,000 metres gained and 3 goals. That would be ridiculous. You know what's interesting?
15 in the last.
What's interesting about
Yeah,
him? Like, you
15.
hear obviously about St Kilda wanting to sign him. You hear about the Adelaide clubs wanting to sign him. Do you reckon there could be some Buddy Franklin-esque move
Batty
of like
Franklin.
Paddy Franklin.
Batty Franklin with Hodgie and Ruff?
Yeah.
Haji
Haji and Roth.
Do you reckon there could be some Batty Franklin type move where a club just sneaks him from under their noses and goes somewhere else? Because I reckon that could happen.
Nah, I think it's St Kilda. I think he'll stay at St Kilda.
Yeah,
On
that's
a
what I'm
2-year
hearing
deal.
too.
No one knew Batty was going to Sydney, though, did
I
they?
think I'll take a little bit out of how Ross speaks about him that they're pretty confident he's staying, is my gut feel.
What about Brett Cleary? What does he think?
Brett,
I think he's staying. Yep. For 2 more years, and then I reckon, books will be opened again. Because he's going to get paid bloody well.
in the next 2.
Yep.
Yep.
They've got a heap of room in their cap, St Kilda, so hence the reason why they're throwing a lot of money to try and bring people in.
Yeah. They're throwing their hat in the ring.
Well, they're throwing they're throwing 50 hats
It's a big hat.
and a trench coat.
Brittles. Pret.
Pringles.
Moving
I've had a
on.
number of people say, Pret with the fire. Pret loves his fire.
I love how that gag went back at you because you took the piss out of me having the L and then people call you Pret.
Pret with the fire. Pret with the fire. Footy,
Welcome back, Mick.
footy, friends, family, fatherhood, and fires. It's the five there. And Fret.
Wink interviewed Harry Morrison
Fret.
post-game, who was
Fret.
named in the best. What did Harry have
No
to say
one's listening.
post-game?
Fret.
Oh, does anyone want to listen?
No one's listening. Fret.
Harry Morrison runs the wing, plays his role, was named sixth best.
Saints as well. I will say this.
Say this. Riddle me this.
Flying Viking.
Big Alex Taru.
Yeah. He's coming along very well, isn't he? I like what they've done too. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You look great.
That is-
You look great. Get that on, Brett. Oi, wear that.
Let
on
me
the
see
dance
that
floor.
hat.
This is Brett's hat for the ring.
Let me see that.
It's from our friends at Big Hats, apparently.
That is
It's a fucking big hat.
amazing. That is amazing.
I heard Brett say,
Brett, you chuck that one on. That's for you, Brett.
This is for Brett.
St
Yeah.
Kilda have a big hat, and it just hit me. I'm like, this is a good time to bring out the big hat. Oh, it's going to be hard for the audio listeners.
Oh
but
my god!
So,
Jump on the
audio
YouTube. That's the
listeners,
biggest hat I've ever seen.
Brett's just wearing a big hat.
That's actually the size you normally wear. To be honest, it's pretty simple.
Where's the P?
Faff Brett.
Go with it again, because now people are listening.
Oh yeah, Fret.
And Link loved it, even though you said it 15 times before.
Fret.
Five
Don't fret.
sorry to derail the show, but it's a big hat. isn't it?
Footy, friends, Fret, family, and fatherhood, and fires.
Yeah.
6 Fs. Moving on.
How's it look backwards?
so-
Any good?
Two games to get.
2 games to go, which is we're waffling today.
And I think game of the round was this one.
Oh.
Sydney. Oh, hang on.
No,
What-
I don't think so.
Which one do you think
I
so?
thought the Adelaide-Melbourne game was pretty good.
Well, we still haven't got to that one yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So I could have gone with that. But Sydney Freo watched most of this one.
Just to let you know, guys, I was the only one who tipped Swans here.
Yeah, well done. Kudos. How this game looked, like it was never outside of like 3 goals. It was a bit of a war of attrition.
That's rattled me, that hat.
Brett's big hat.
That's
Is,
faddled me.
But it's like Stitch. It's a really good quality hat. It's
Yeah, it's
bizarre.
really good. Moving in.
moving in.
In.
They
Audio listeners, Brett loves the hat.
He's got the bloody funny beans today, hasn't he? He's had a couple.
It's another
I've had no
F.
sleep.
Hey, I'll give some flowers.
Go.
Dan
Get in.
Cox and the Sydney coaching group.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, how are we going to get beaten here by the Dockers? What are the Dockers' one-woods
Yep.
at the moment? Clearance, contest, pretty good.
Caleb
So
Sarong.
Caleb Sarong,
Yep.
let's go stamp him.
James
he has
Jordan.
11 touches. And Jordan works off and hits the scoreboard. How else do Freo beat opposition? Bounce off half-back, I'll give you the hint.
Jeremy Sharp.
He wasn't in the side.
Jordan Clark.
Jordan Clark. I think Jeremy Sharp may have played at the Peel Thunder on the weekend.
Is that true?
So Jordan Clark,
Garrett Gibberton.
Braden Campbell. He's starting to make a little bit of a niche for himself as to going
Shutting
to
down.
opposition halfbacks.
Bit of a run with.
And, work on.
Work off. It's one of the worst roles ever, by the way. It's a tough one.
I'll tell you, used to be hard to play on with in that role. Lyndon Dunn. There's a blast from
He's
the
a good
past.
player, Lyndon Dunn.
He was a role man.
He was a great role player.
Very fit and strong.
So, the coaching crew there from Sydney deserve their flowers.
Do you reckon that was a good
game.
coaching performance?
I think so. I think so.
like what you're saying.
Jackson and Darcy, again, as soon as that kind of doesn't work or they don't get a result, Kane Corns jumps on that pretty quick smart.
Yeah. Do you reckon our boy Joshy Tracy would win their BNF this year?
Probably not.
It would be Sarong still.
Yeah, it'd be Sarong. Jordan Clark's having a really good year.
Jeremy
Jeremy Sharp
been-
is in and around the area.
Jeremy Sharp, yeah.
What's wrong with Brayshaw as well? He's a pretty good player.
Brayshaw's
So
good.
has Luke Jackson been going pretty well.
Yeah, true.
There's a
I'd
number
like
of
to see
players. So
I'd like to
Jakey,
see
Sausage
Keith-
Rolls, Tracy's probably down the...
I'd like to see a key forward.
They're there, but they don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I love him.
You've got to kick 100 just about.
On this game as well, on these teams, Swans, Tom Morris actually, doing the day in the
Day in
life.
the life of.
He reported on radio, I don't know what he was on, but he was saying that the Swans this year, and this is the reason why I was bringing up the Nasai Wang and Emalira thing, just as a...
Or they have some cap space.
He reckons they're going to go really hard in the off-season.
For someone.
But also cull. So cull a couple big names. Like as you
I think that the big names you're probably talking about are the guys that they've already
Marty Party.
made some.
Talking about a Marty Party.
No, I'm talking about like the guys that they've already probably put in the reserves.
Yeah.
That are probably out of contract. They've
I
been
agree.
around for 10 to 12
Lloyd.
years. That they still have footy left in them.
Yeah.
But they might play
But
somewhere
I reckon
else.
they'll still get rid of a few guys that are playing.
Who are they going to put their hat in the ring for there? Their big hat.
Who are they going to put the big faff hat in the ring for? Which you would
in the
need an enormous ring for.
Yeah.
If I was going to give you one name,
Charlie Curnow.
Jamari Ugelhagen.
that was the one I was going to give
Yeah,
you.
well, that's an obvious one. But
Oh, sorry.
well, it is quite obvious. But I think that they'll go for
Can
someone
you imagine
big.
Carlton as a whole, as a club, if they trade out Charlie Curnow, who is
Well, they wouldn't be wanting to, but I think it would be one of those ones where,
maybe he wants to go?
well, that's what I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying.
No,
that
but he
could be
might
what it was.
like the idea of
Exactly.
getting up north. And
Mate, if Carlton keep going the way they do,
yeah,
do you reckon? I don't think it's I reckon it's about trying to keep their actual good players as well. Yeah, they'd be sick
the
to death
worst
of
thing
it.
they can do is try and top up to go again.
That's what I mean.
in
Like,
my opinion.
What if Cripper? This is hypothetical. What if he's just like, you know what?
Like Ryan
I'm
Griffin
fucking
did.
exhausted.
I'm out of here.
I'm exhausted.
I'm going to go to the Giants.
I might go take the 4 at West Coast.
Got to go back home for the last couple. Well, it's not as crazy as it sounds.
How old's Cripps?
He's 30. He'd be 30, I reckon.
Yeah,
30
he's
this
30.
year, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're big watching a couple of these sides at the end of the year, weren't they?
I love it when the boys get around what I'm saying. I love it. Thank you. But yeah.
Well, you're usually way off, but that one you're actually reasonably close. Yeah, Northcote to McLeod probably
watch
close.
this space.
Yeah.
Watch this space. So, anyway.
Freo,
Match
out
of the
of the
round.
8, by the way.
Oh, yeah, for out of the round.
Yeah.
Out
Out
of
of
the
the
8.
round. Out of the 9. Out of the 8. In the 9.
Yes.
Fatiguing.
This was a really good game. I liked this.
Melbourne and Adelaide. Melbourne
Crows.
jumped them. Old ambush.
They did. They
Adelaide pretty happy with themselves.
business trip, I reckon. I reckon Goody had the suit on.
the tricolours.
Yeah.
Adelaide starting to drink their own bathwater.
A little bit.
Melbourne put a couple on them.
and
put a
Melbourne,
couple on them.
Goody and
Choco.
Choco.
But then they were
and-
still down at quarter time. So, yeah, anyway.
What's his name? Not Alapati Carlisle. It's the other one. The other guy.
Dan Grogan.
No.
Tim
No.
Luby.
What's the
Troy
guy?
Chaplin.
Troy Chaplin. Because they played together there. Brett.
Just want to say Fret.
Yeah, Fret. Froy Faplin. Troy Chaplin. I don't know who else is
Anyway.
like Demons. Oh,
Nathan Bassett.
Bassett
They're up
and
like that.
Brad Green. He was up there.
Trent Rivers.
Tweeting.
Trent Rivers, half back.
Yeah.
Kick
Anyway,
goal.
they did well. They were wearing the suits and they got up there for a business trip.
Well,
And they
yeah,
actually
like Brett said,
switched
they were
on.
down at quarter time, but were out by, I think, 3 goals at some stage through the second quarter.
Melksham full again.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah.
I want what he's having because that is oh god, my pen's leaking. That is seriously impressive.
How many is he up to for the year now?
Yeah, because he kicked 4 last week, didn't he?
Well, he
5
did it-
last year. He kicked
Wow.
5, 6 or something.
He was out of the
Something
side
ridiculous.
earlier in the year through injury, though, as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah.
20 for the year.
yeah.
Mate, I swear the last 2 years he's nearly been done.
Or he didn't come off an ACL.
That is true.
Yeah.
But,
then
good on him.
Another bad injury. So, yeah, Rankin, star. He's
a star.
kicked 5. We spoke about him a little bit before.
Dawson.
But it was a game like where Adelaide were challenged. I think they just needed to come over the top and solidify their spot up there in the top 4.
Who's winning Adelaide's best and fairest right now?
Ben Cleans would be
Yeah,
up there.
I
Ben
think
Cleans.
everyone would say so Dawson might win the Brownlow, but Ben Cleans, who I've always been a big fan of.
He's had a couple of quiet ones.
Who Ben Cleans?
Yeah. But
Roll.
yeah, but
Probably gets votes for GPS data.
Mate, he works hard.
for the real
The-
upright,
I love him.
Buzz Lightyear run. So.
Upright run.
He's so strong and erect too. Like very, very strong.
And what impresses me from the Crows, again, the guys that
Don't
feel
take
like they all look the same.
Worrell,
They all-
Hinge,
Worrell, bloody Hinge,
Butts.
the other guy in
Dan
the back
Curtin.
line, Dan Curtin, they all look the fucking same. They're
Mate.
all like 6'4",
Handsome.
Michael
Built
Lanning.
like brick
the
shit house.
hair, and
Handsome.
they wear the jeans that Mack wears.
Yeah.
I'm led to
What
believe.
what's that called? That
Nam
Namcore.
Core.
Yeah,
Bill Nam
they
Core.
You knew exactly what it was. Don't ask what it's called.
They
You knew
name
exactly.
core of evening, but they intercept Mark of daytime.
I agree. The one
Getting
player
that
that I
music near the
love
fire.
more than anything at the moment is
They're
Dan.
having a conversation.
What the fuck is Brett doing?
I've
Brett's
lost
on
a body today.
He's lost
They're
a
all
plot.
slow dancing at the Osborne. On the
Yeah.
No.
We're the
Dan
big hat
Curtin.
slow dance.
is a really good player. He
Thanks, mate.
obviously played very well last week, but stood up when the game was on too. He
I
took
couldn't
2
read that.
massive marks.
So 1 and 9 touches.
no,
yeah.
no,
No, but the week,
no,
week
he
before,
stood up.
He was,
Oh, the week before he was brilliant.
No, I'm saying, but he
Flowers.
stood up.
But wingers, wings. Sometimes
Yeah,
you run the same patterns and you get
Yeah,
26. The
0
next week
licks.
you run the same pattern, you get 9.
Brett, what I'm saying is,
What are you saying, Dill?
in the last 5 minutes, he took a really big,
He
strong
did.
contested mark, kicked it to someone, then ran down and then took another big contested mark and kicked a goal.
It's
So
like under 12s footy.
It
When
was
you got your best
impressive.
player. It's like you take the big mark in the back line, kick it over to a mate. Wait there. I'm going to get down the line.
exactly. So what I'm saying is, good player, and you might not always get your bloody 30 possessions, but he stood up when it counts. You might not have your game, but you can have your moment.
Mate, that is inspiring. Ronald Barassi, they should call you.
Thank you. And that's all I've got from that game, really. But
Game of
good
the
win.
round.
I really like Adelaide, to be honest. They're just a good team to watch. Hopefully Rochellie's okay too.
I was about to say that.
Touch wood.
And that's it.
But if you touch the wood,
Oh, yeah.
He touched it, for those not watching.
anything else on this game or the round? What do you think?
No, that's
Nothing.
sort of it. Rivers in the best. Still
Well,
playing off back.
let's preface it. Let's finish this by saying, or surmise this round by saying,
Not the best
hard
round.
round of footy.
Yeah. I think Laura Kane and
Dills.
Dills and Greg Swan, I think they sit back today and go,
Moving on.
yeah. Well done. I didn't know what to say. That was fantastic, Nick. That was fantastic. That was really good. Game. I don't think they'd be saying the game was in a good place after that one.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Beautiful, guys. Well, that's it. I'm really happy with that episode. We edited out a few of my bits about earlier around Collingwood and Carlton list together and those bits.
Yeah. No, we can keep that in. It's a
We'll
really
edit
good
out the
summation.
Smarty thing, the Guessy Smarty thing.
Why? Guess
I
he'll be
like
so
Guessy,
flat.
I like Guessy.
He's on holidays.
The Ripper. All right, I think that's it. Boys, anything else?
What's later in the week, dear? What do we got coming up?
Later in the week, we've got a episode on...
Why are you checking your phone?
What have we got? Oh,
We've got Will Schofield later this week.
Scully's on this week.
He's
I'll
going
tell
out to
you
play
what,
for who?
Are you excited?
Nah.
Yeah, there's a bit of like.
There's a
Red might
there's a
kill
bit of...
It might be
Animosity.
through jabs.
Yeah. Bit of
And
animosity.
there's a high bar set by Travis Cloak. He was
It was good.
terrific.
Not a footy tipping bar, that is.
No.
No.
What was his best moment in that pod when he goes,
Oh, when he said,
Oh, he
he
said
goes,
that.
Mick and Brett, you'd know.
so you two would relate to this? And Bill's there like, nodding his head like, bring me in.
He was so flat when he realised what he'd done as
It
well.
was actually a serious point. I couldn't help because he eliminated you from
He's
it.
a fuckwit, that bloke, honestly. couldn't give a shit about him. No, group and bloke, Clokey, he was very good. Him and Hep have been two very
Yeah.
favourable fans. So
So, Uz, why you stay over there in the Greek islands?
Well, he's on the
wherever you
Greek Islands. You see, he putting up some weird.
He's got
He's
the tight singlet.
He's putting up some weird photos of him walking out in the rain in his singlet. Like, what is going on here?
are? Hey, Uz, get in the gym, mate.
Yeah.
You never liked it, and I think you need to get into there. Anyway,
Done. So we've got Scully on. We've got another episode. That'd be good. And that's about it, right?
Yeah, well done.
Cool.
and
All
this episode was brought to you by...
right, BWS. Get your game day bevies from BWS. Brett and I'll be there with a fire on this week.
That's
Slow
it.
dancing.
And slow dancing with
And a big
Matt.
hat.
Samuel Lalor on the guitar. Lula.
Yeah. And we'll try and get Mabior on next week. See you, boys.
Thanks for watching another episode of Footy and Friends. Before you go today, don't forget to hit that subscribe, hit the like, and hit the comment. Even hit the bell as well. The bell's going to be about here. All right, cool. Thank you.